to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Number 2, we will call to order the December 4th, 2025 Village Board meeting. 3, roll call shows all trustees are present, all staff is present, and our attorney Ashley is present. 4, agenda changes. Are there any? Okay, 5, consent agenda. A, November 20th, 2025, regular board meeting minutes. B, presentation of accounts and other claims against the village. If there are no questions, I would need a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion to accept that consent agenda.
I'll second. Roll call, Jim?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. 6, I would need a motion to open the public hearing for the 2026 budget presentation.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for the 2026 budget presentation.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Our public hearing is now open.
Sorry. Didn't realize we didn't have the packet in there. I apologize. I've been out sick since Monday with strep, so just getting back today, so trying to figure out where everything is. Let me. Should be here.
Is it the memo, the other funds budget, or is it,
It's the whole thing.
it's the whole thing, okay.
I got it off your email too, so.
General.
No, I see what you're saying. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, shoot.
No.
No, it would have been from me to the village board. I got it. Alright. Sorry about that. Alright, so the 2026 budget, the tax levy is gonna be dropping a substantial amount. This is due to the reevaluation. Our equalized value is up about 7 million. So here's a summary of changes in taxes. This is basically if your house stayed at the same assessed value across the board between 2024 and 2025, you would see a large decrease, obviously, in the amount you're paying. I added in the second chart that was kind of based off of the average increase in assessed value percentage-wise. So if your house was originally assessed in 2024 at 150,000, up by 42% should put it at 210,000 assessed value. So your average homeowner might see, if they're at 42% or more, about a $60 increase. Anyone who was under that 42% threshold most likely is going to see some type of a reduction. The general fund, so
years. He's decided not to run next year, so I'm gonna be running in his place for assembly for the 56th assembly. And that means Grand Chute, Greenville, Hortonville, New London, Shiocton, Black Creek, so it's sort of that area. I am running as Republican, no current opponents. I live in Grand Chute, just north of the Alliance Church. My trade, I'm a cancer physician. I've been a cancer physician for 26 years in the Fox Cities. Now pretty much retired. I last worked in February. Raised 5 children with my wife, all went to Appleton North. Don't hold that against me. One of my sons, Stanley, played soccer and football with Nathan Treadwell, so I know Nathan real well. So very impressive to see you now and what you're doing. This is great. And really, that's almost it. I do have a website and Facebook, Village for Wisconsin. I can be checked out, but I don't want to get into anything parts in here. I just wanted to come and say hello. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
No.
Okay, we'll move to 8, committee reports. There are none. 9, unfinished business from previous meetings. There is none. 10, new business. A, discussion and possible action on resolution R-23-25, adopting the 2026 budget and approving the tax levy. Are there any questions? Otherwise, we would need a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion to approve R-23-25.
I'll second that.
Roll call, Jim?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Motion carried. B, discussion and possible action on appointment of election inspectors 2026 to 2027.
This is just standard, we do this every 2 years, we reappoint our election inspectors. We did get a list from the Republican Party, there were approximately 9 names on there. I called every one of them, and all but one are working for different municipalities, whether it's Grand Chute, Appleton, Hortonville. They didn't really want to switch. So the only one new on that list from the Republican Party was Katie Reel. So the rest are people that have worked or are wanting to work.
Any questions? Otherwise, we would need a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion to accept the election inspectors for January 1, 2026 through December 31, 2027.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. C, discussion and possible action on resolution R-21-25, amending personnel manual.
So this got approved at the last Public Works Committee meeting. Basically, it's just adding the last line in the resolution, or last bullet point in the resolution, so that staff that's staying up all night painting Main Street gets overtime pay for doing that during that day that they're working all night doing it.
We did discuss this.
We did.
So is this, we needed to have a separate line to say that one specific task they were gonna get overtime for? I don't quite understand that.
Yeah, personnel manual states anything over 40 hours you would get it for. So,
Okay.
if they were gonna do anything different, they needed to basically.
They don't work 40 hours, they don't work the whole day that day, they go home early, so it's overtime that's not overtime, it's just out of the normal time frame. So if they have to come in early in the morning, they leave earlier in the day than they normally would. So we're paying them basically like a call-out rate, if you will, because they're coming so early in the morning.
It's basically time and a half for the hours that they work at night, even though it wouldn't be over 40.
It was strictly considering the painting of the streets and things, wasn't it?
Just
was
for
big
painting.
issue.
The
For
main,
safety.
One night
One
a
night
year.
a year.
Yeah, we tried doing it during the day this year, and it was a nightmare. We had a couple close calls. We had to have police there helping with traffic, and it took 3 times as long.
It's gonna get worse too with Main Street getting reconstructed, you're gonna have a smaller,
Window for them to go around,
right, so,
Are you just repainting the lines? Is it-
like crosswalks, things like that.
Oh,
Once-
okay.
It's just once a year.
It's just this one
Okay.
specific task.
All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? Otherwise, we would need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve R-21-25.
I'll second. Roll call, Jim?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. D, discussion and possible action on We Energies easement in Miller Park.
This is easement We Energies is asking for. They have to move one of their gas lines in preparation for the bridge replacement that's gonna happen next year, next to Miller Park on Main Street. And they're gonna need a small easement through Miller Park.
The only question I have is, I'm just trying to figure out based on the map, is there, like, for this easement to do this, do they have to tear up any sort of blacktop in the parking lot or anything like that? Or maybe I'm just not.
I don't think so. I think it's gonna be bored.
Okay.
Where's the
So,
sign?
for some reason, it didn't show up on this, but it's basically right here. So just this, see how they kind of come onto our property? So that's what they would be using for.
Where's the sign in reference to that?
This is the driveway where
The
you
Miller
come
Park
in,
sign?
in the middle of this.
It's between the two driveways, isn't it?
This is the the
Yep.
western driveway entrance, and then the bridge is here.
So it doesn't affect our blacktop or sign or anything like that?
No,
No.
When is this gonna be done?
this would have to be done before the bridge replacement, which is scheduled, yeah,
cause this part's utilities, I don't know if that coincides with our utilities, or if they're doing that at a different,
yeah.
I'm guessing they're doing it in March.
It'll have to be done before, I think, June or July is when they were planning on starting the bridge.
Right.
So, the current line runs where? It just runs off closer to the road, or?
Closer to the bridge, yeah. You can kind of see where it's, those X's are, the squiggly lines.
Okay. So this will create a permanent easement?
Yep. For that little sliver of land.
How much is it? It's hard to discern from the sign here.
What? Couldn't tell?
Is it 3 feet, 5 feet? It's hard to tell from the drawing
The
here.
yellow part didn't show for some reason.
12 feet.
12 feet wide.
In the
12
paperwork from the distribution easement gas, and then it even says too that they have to restore as nearly as reasonably possible.
Yeah. Everything back to existing
Yep.
conditions.
Yeah. It's
Mhm.
12, how far is the sign from there?
It's farther back than that.
The sign's further than 12 feet off?
Well, farther back than where they're showing the board.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I was asking. Okay, so it's sign's back there.
Yeah.
And there, this is way up, this is up by the edge by the creek, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So basically just
Bridges.
moving that gas
Oh,
line out of
yeah,
the
there's nothing there.
window where they're replacing the
Okay.
bridge.
Okay, there's nothing there.
Any other questions? Otherwise, we would need a motion.
What do you need a motion to, just approve the easement?
Sign this one, so. I'd probably just have her get over quick, and then you can have it be approved based on after,
Review of attorney.
yeah.
Okay. I will, make a motion to, approve the easement, changes, as presented, in lieu of approval, from the attorney.
I'll second.
Roll call, Jim?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. E, discussion and possible action on updates to ordinance section 42-125, private sewer laterals.
So this came up in a previous board meeting, and there were some questions on it. So I included the memo that we got from our attorneys, that kind of discussed some of the issues. And basically what the biggest question that was arises, how collection of fees would be, or fees would be collected if they weren't paid. So we've added this last section that kind of discusses how fees would be collected. Otherwise, everything else is the same as what was previously presented.
Does anyone have any other questions?
So this is, do we have an existing, or is this the actual section number? Like, is this adding or is this changing?
This is adding.
Okay.
We didn't have an existing one.
And then the language in the memo is obviously changing what is to be added.
Yeah, I just trying to figure out with the motion, I make a motion to add section
Yeah.
42-125.
Well, I don't think that, sorry,
Okay,
correct, cause the board did not approve that last time around, we
No.
held off on that.
yeah,
On those two issues of notice and then how we would
okay.
assess those fines.
Thank you
And it
for-
would be a special charge against the property.
And Jeannie has a copy with the ordinance number on it. That wasn't put in the packet with the number on it.
Okay,
That's probably what you're looking for.
that's what I'm looking for, yeah.
Yes.
So it would be O-6-25.
Okay. I will make a motion, so the ordinance, is there any verbiage in that ordinance that is unusual that, I mean, it's just.
No,
it's
my
referencing-
other concern was the notice period, and after discussing that with Chuck, he confirmed, he agreed with me, we do have to provide notice before we can do this. We can't just televise a person's property without giving them an opportunity to object to that. I mean, I kind of understand why someone might think that they could, cause it's a pipe that's connected to our system, but that's their private lateral, it's part of their property. So those were the two issues that we wanted to look
Yeah,
at.
thank you, 'cause I
Yeah,
know.
thank you for catching that.
Yeah. Can we approve an ordinance that we haven't, that only Jeannie has a copy of? I mean, do we,
We have received a copy of it.
The only thing that's not on there is the O-6.
okay, that's. I will make the motion to approve ordinance O-6-25, regarding private sewer laterals. I'll
Second.
Roll call, Jim?
Aye.
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 Motion carried. F, discussion and possible action on ambulance fees.
So, last week or the week before, I can't remember at this point, we were contacted by the county basically stating that they would no longer allow us to put the ambulance fees on our, tax bills as a separate charge, as a special charge. They told us that they were contacted by the state DOR, and the state DOR says that their claim of their opinion on the law basically says that you can't do that with ambulance charges. Their claim is that an ambulance charge is for a person and not property. And so that wouldn't be allowed to be put on there. I think our argument to them was what we've always argued is that it's for the property, not necessarily for the person on the property. That's why we do it for homes, we do it for land, is to provide that service potentially to that person. Basically, they said that their lawyers would say that they're right at this point. So our choices would be A, take it off, which is what we did for this year. Going forward, we could sue. We could sue the county for making us take it off. We could send letters out to residents requesting the fee separately, going forward, and then trying to collect the money from them, which is another administration problem. I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world. out how we want, the best way to do that to make sure that people are paying. The ones that don't pay, we'd have to apply then to their taxes the next year, which they still never answered me on that question I had for them, is if we applied this as a fee, charged them every year, and if someone didn't pay that fee, then normally we can apply those fees to tax bills, so would we be able to apply it then? He said he doesn't have an answer for me for that. I would have to, he'd have to request a determination from, his corporation counsel. I think maybe the attorney's got a little more background somewhat on this. We're not the only community. Greenville was also another one that was blindsided by this. Yeah.
When Jane and Nathan called, I said I don't have good advice, I just have rage. I don't understand where this came from. We spoke to the other attorneys that we have a weekly call. The administrators have a call, the attorneys also have a weekly call that we can join on that came from COVID. We asked if anyone else was experiencing this, and we were surprised to hear no. We have a community in Winnebago County that we represent. That was the first community where we started to run into this issue, where the county was refusing to put those fees on the tax bill. And now two here in Outagamie County, but we haven't heard of it outside of this immediate area. I don't think that the county can say to us, no, we're not gonna put this on your tax bill. I don't think it's up to them to decide what we're going to impose as a special charge. I think it's simply a matter of here's what we are billing. And if somebody disagrees with it, if a taxpayer disagrees with it, it's between us and them. It's not between us and the county. We have another community that we represent who I think they have built this themselves and likely will sue that county. Part of me, terrible legal advice, but part of me would suggest you wait and see how that shakes out rather than taking on that fight yourselves. We contacted the league. The league sort of said we don't want to get involved. We've always kind of questioned whether these charges could be applied in this way. Most communities wrap them into their fire fees because your fire and EMS are separate. We don't have the ability to do that. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I think Jane said she talked to someone at the county who basically said, well, I have an obligation to prevent you from doing this because I'm like an accomplice to the crime. And I just want to pull my hair out. But at the end of the day, I can't make them do it. And the timing it cannot be a coincidence that this all comes up, a week before the tax bills were due. So.
How do we pay that consortium fee?
We paid that through the special charge. So basically, the resident would pay based on units on their property. So if you were multifamily with 4 units, you'd pay 4 unit prices. Single family residential pays 1. Empty lot pays 1 as well. Because at some point, if someone's on that property, that's why we've always charged it based on property, not necessarily based on the number of people on the property. I think we don't really have that great of options as of right now. I did put in a call to Dave Murphy's office to see what he could find out. Haven't heard back yet from them, but it's only been about a week and a half or so, so I don't know.
So we took it off of our property tax bills?
We did for this year, and we paid for it basically through, it's gonna be through taxes, is how people are gonna be paying for this, is through debt, is how we're gonna do it, basically.
So we're fronting the money, so to speak.
It's a stop loss for a year. I mean, if we're talking, the issue is our levy in 2014, when we first switched to doing this, the nice thing about pulling these out is it doesn't affect our levy. And our levy can only go up by the amount of net new construction. So we had about 1.26% this year, which would equal about $20,000. In the grand scheme of things, that does not do a lot when you're talking wage increases, healthcare increases, and all these other things to do anything with our budgets going forward. So when you can pull that stuff out and we don't have to worry about the ambulance consortium charge going up by, I know during, this was COVID, but it went up by 33% one year. It dropped down the year after, but if something like that came and we had to increase 10 grand, I mean, there goes raises right here. So it was nice when we could pull it out. If we're looking at trying to make it match in with the levy, it's gonna be a long-term period to try to slowly add that line item in order to be fully doing it through the tax base. So I really don't have a great answer right now. There's a few of us administrators that have been talking about trying to do something and reaching out to the league about trying to get clarification done, because I think the last thing you want to do is put it on the tax bill and then have to deal with a case that's going to eventually basically go to the Supreme Court, because you're going to have appeals all the way up to the state Supreme Court, I should say.
So I think of everyone that has like a mortgage, or they do escrow. So every year, like our escrow has, you know, that fee's always just been on our property taxes, it's just not gonna appear on there, so now our escrow's higher than what our property, I'm trying to think of it as a
No.
homeowner.
It'll be a wash, because the debt portion is going to cover it.
Okay,
I mean, technically, we had
So it's
other
just-
uses for that debt, but that changed because of
So-
this.
but as a
So-
homeowner, it's gonna look like the local taxes went up, is that what you're trying to say? I guess I'm trying to look at this as a homeowner, or any homeowner, so if I'm
It's
asked.
going to be hard to tell,
Hard to
because
tell.
in a normal year, yes, you would have seen that fluctuation potentially, but with the assessment, the reassessed values, everyone's most of them are either high, or they're gonna have a huge increase just because of the amount of assessed value went up maybe 70%. Or they're gonna have a decrease, that we had a few that are gonna have substantial decreases in taxes.
These are the kind of questions that people call and ask, you know, like, my taxes went up, what happened, you know?
Right.
And it'd be nice to have some kind of explanation.
Basically, anyone whose assessed value increased by 42% or more, they're gonna be paying more in taxes. Anyone who is less than that, probably like 30, in the little low 30s, you probably wouldn't have seen it.
How do we pay, how do we charge for the fire services?
So it's interesting, we can, which is another option, we could pull that out of the levy and put that on to the side, and basically have that be, so that way if the fire increased their amounts, it doesn't affect us as much.
So they allow you to have fire separate, but
You
not.
can have a fire charge, you can have all these other charges, but for some reason they say ambulance is not one, police isn't one. There's a few others, they allow garbage, lighting, if it's in a special district, building inspection fees. So there's a lot of fees that they allow on there, and I think, yeah, I don't know. The state statute does not necessarily identify that this wouldn't be allowed. It's just, this is one organization's interpretation of the law
And
compared
they're taking
to.
it's their
It's like
crusade
one
right now.
person at one organization.
Right.
It's like a crusade,
If
their own
this
mission.
gets challenged and then rescinded, is this person that's suing, or this county that's suing, are they gonna be able to recoup the money that was then not given, or able to be put on the tax roll? Are they gonna be able to recoup that in any way?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't wanna get into too many details with regard to strategy there, but, hopefully. I mean, if, you never know with litigation. If you don't challenge it, you can't win it. And I think at this point, that's sort of the recommendation that I would make, and I think that Nathan would too. Maybe let's see how that plays out. You can't recoup those costs now, unless you're also challenging this decision.
I think you might have a better chance at this point is, I know this sounds naive, but trying to convince Madison to adjust it. They've been looking at trying to figure out ways to make ambulances work for the past 2 years and trying to come up with strategies on how to do it, and they haven't really come up with much. This might be something that might help by allowing these to go on to the, but
But I think that the primary argument that you're up against is, can the county tell you no? I don't understand
Right.
this whole, like, I'm an accomplice to a crime sort of response. Again, they don't get to decide what you put on your portion of the bill. They just need to create a billing code and do that. And Winnebago and Outagamie County are refusing to do that.
So we are not the only community in Outagamie County that's
Greenville also.
Greenville also.
I don't know if there are others. Those are the two that we have heard from. You and Greenville. Greenville thinks that they're the reason this is happening.
But didn't they have and I'm not to
I
get into
told
the
them.
weeds,
Yeah,
but wasn't there
I
something?
told him that. I said, that's what Nathan said.
And not to get into the weeds, but I think Greenville, didn't they have something worked out with Grand Chute? I don't
know about that. I think
They-
Greenville's under the impression that this has to do with like bad blood after the incorporation.
Oh, all right. Well, we can speculate. Okay, so you guys are on it, but
So what's the plan right now? Are you gonna
Well-
bill separately, is that the plan?
So, we could bill it separately to the residents still. We could just use the debt for this year otherwise. But long-term, I mean, I don't know, granted, yes, we could fight the county or whatever, or let the county other one play out, with the other municipality before we do it, but that still doesn't put us, I guess, in a great spot, because you still have basically the DOR's legal opinion is this. That would make it so that, let's say the county loses, and then we add that back to our tax bill. It kind of does leave us open to litigation if any of the residents disagreed with how we allocated that onto the tax bill, because they would have the ability then to sue us, because they would be
Well, they would be the ones that would be harmed if
right.
you didn't have the authority to issue that charge.
so.
That's if we add it to the tax bill, or if we bill separately?
If we add it to the tax bill,
Okay.
back the way we used to do it, even if this county thing plays out, and that's, I don't know if that's a good strategy, is let the county play this out and then say, well, you know, the other county just lost on that, you have to add this to the tax bill. It still kind of puts us kind of at risk for potential if anyone didn't like the $27 or $23 ambulance fee we charge.
so to clarify, it's somebody in an office that made this judgment call, or was this the county board? I'm looking at a county board right here.
No, it wasn't the county board.
Wasn't the county board, so this
It
didn't
was-
go through the
The
county board.
DOR was in contact with basically, I think, I don't know if it was Kyle Sargent, but it was his office, basically the corporation council, and the county's corporation council agreed with the DOR's corporation council's interpretation of the law. And that's what we were told from Rochelle, the clerk there.
She's the county treasurer.
County treasurer, yeah.
Okay,
Sorry.
I'm just trying to clarify where the root
Right.
cause is here. So if I have questions, would I call my county rep, or would I call?
I don't think they're
I don't-
really in on that.
This wasn't their doing, this was
Right.
an
Right.
administrative,
Mhm.
okay, all right, I just need that clarification, thank you.
It just seems crazy that one person can make the decision. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why, I mean, that's why a lot of times they get challenged, and
Yeah.
it's.
Crazy's one word for it.
Yeah.
So what is our plan?
I-
For this year?
For this year, I think you have two options. You basically can just say we're gonna take care of it with our extra money that we got from debt, or we can bill the residents. I guess depending on the solution going forward is also the other question, because, I mean, billing the residents, it's gonna be, you know, we're gonna have to make a new spreadsheet with all addresses, all of them, track on when the people come in and pay it. For the ones that don't come and pay it, we're gonna probably have to do notices to them that they haven't paid it. It's, with 1,300 people and letters, well, 1,300 units, or so.
Okay.
But, yeah, so
And once you start that, then we move forward with that.
you
same-
could, cause you'd get it kind of down to kind of a little process. I mean, it's a lot of extra work, and I mean, you're paying for postage and,
And the thing with that, if they don't pay,
residents too, because some of them may not even know that it's on their tax
Right.
bill currently.
Yeah.
you're gonna
And
have
they're
a
gonna
lot
say, all of a sudden,
backlash.
you're billing
Village.
us now, what are you billing us,
Yeah.
it's another charge. They may not even know it's on there right now.
Oh, I see it on there every year.
Okay, but
It says
I
all
mean,
the.
there's
It's gonna
only,
feel
there's only
new.
like
If you're
five
getting
things
a-
on
if
your
you're
tax
getting a
bill,
new
and
bill,
that's
and
that's
then
one
it's
of them.
gonna feel new.
There's
Right.
garbage, there's the schools, there's the garbage, there's the ambulance, there's not, and, you know, then there's your
And if
property
someone
tax.
notices though, they're gonna say, well, why isn't this on my tax bill? And they're
Right.
gonna call anyway, and so you know.
they never call and say, why isn't this on my tax bill?
If someone noticed that it was
Yeah, I
on
mean,
there.
it's not, I
They're
mean,
gonna
this
say, why am I
is,
getting
it's
separate
not,
bills?
it's
Right,
not this.
why,
They're
if
not
I'm
getting
getting a
this. They're
separate
getting-
bill, why
they're
is it
getting
not
it, like,
included?
Right.
So
five
why am I
items.
getting a separate bill all of a
Cause
sudden?
legally we can't, we have to do it.
Right.
And they would
Yeah.
be the ones that would challenge the village then.
They would have to.
Any
They
one
could
of those-
challenge the village's ability to impose that fee.
Any one of those, 1,000 plus.
Any resident that lives here that pays it.
The county doesn't have any sort of standing or reason to challenge that fee.
They have land that we charge,
Well, okay.
so.
Yeah, but
guess
I
it's
mean,
property right.
residents can have the standing to challenge any charge,
Yeah,
Right.
right.
literally, I mean.
Right, it has to
they-
be a resident though.
Yeah, I mean,
Or a
they can
property owner.
literally challenge the village on any charge. They could say, oh, I don't want, I could take care of my own garbage. I don't need to pay you every year to take care of
Right,
my
but-
garbage.
But the
I
county's
mean,
put a bullseye on your back.
But the
though.
DOR
If you're gonna
agrees
charge it
with us
separately.
having the garbage on there, they don't agree with us with the ambulance charge. That's the only difference I would say between it, is there's a little more security obviously with the trash, cause the DOR even agrees with us on. The only question is this one that they don't.
Crazy.
I mean, we can leave it this year as not being charged to the residents, try to see what we can figure out this year to change something, and see what it's like going forward. If we need to create a mailing next year and we start that, then we at least have time to kind of maybe let them know. We could probably put a message into the Village Voice and just kind of state, this is where we're at with it, we're gonna do it as a charge. Unfortunately, if it's not paid, it would be assessed to your taxes at the end of the year as a delinquent fee.
but they said we really couldn't do that.
They didn't,
They didn't say you couldn't.
They didn't say we couldn't, you're right, they,
he,
Didn't have
the
an
guy,
opinion.
I was on the phone with him and he's like, no, but I could have our attorneys look into it. I said, no, I'm good. Why would I want your
So
attorneys
here's-
to make a decision?
Here's a question, if, rather than having people come in and pay the 23, why don't we just send them something saying, like, come in and pay the 23, or would you like it added to your taxes, and then you can mark them all off, now you don't have to follow up with those people all year long, or whatever, to get it, and you're just sort of circumventing.
I don't think that would work. I mean, that sort of reminds me of like the issue in Buchanan when they tried to impose,
Utility fee.
yeah. And there was a referendum and overwhelmingly the residents preferred that it be handled that way instead of by special assessment. Still lost the case. I mean, it's not comparable in the sense that this is a different kind of charge, but
But I mean, if they're not gonna come in and pay it, now we have somebody potentially sending 4 letters, 5 letters, whatever, 12 letters, I don't know how often you'd send a letter, for $23.
Probably the
And then
initial
we're ending
and
up
then
putting
one
on
at
the
the end of
taxes
the year.
anyway.
Probably the initial and one at the end of the year, probably 2 total.
We wouldn't be able to change this and add it to the tax roll for this year anyway.
No,
no.
no, so
It's
this
done,
year,
they're done.
So it's moot.
right,
yeah, they let you
At
know
this-
about a week before that they weren't gonna.
that's
do
why
it.
we scrambled and figured it
So
out.
if you have a medical emergency, call Uber. I don't know what the county would have you do. Obviously this makes me crazy. And it's not, but I'm not trying to make light of it, it's just.
And how
wild
much
to me.
is it you're looking if you took it out of the debt?
It's 47,000 total. So if we were having to add it into the levy over the next, I mean, we could probably do it we were trying to take time, I mean, 10 years, I think you'd want at least.
So I'm looking at like I'm looking at our taxes.
Right.
Just an R1, the other charge was
Yep.
$27.50.
That was the ambulance fee.
Yeah, that was the ambulance fee. So we're talking like per parcel or so, like under $50.
Yeah, I mean, I think the hard thing too is you're gonna have a lot of residents who are gonna be paying more of a percentage of that. So
Yeah,
there's
and like-
single-family homes that now are, granted, they're worth more money, but, you know, it's, a lot of these fees were kind of spread out. And now it's gonna be kind of, you know, people who have a higher assessed value properties are gonna be paying a larger portion.
Yeah, but I think about to have the admin staff do notices and things and send out mail for like a $27 charge, to me seems kind of,
Yeah, but we were talking 47,000, which
Yeah.
is basically, you know, 2 years of basically no increase in.
no, I get you, I hear you, but
Yeah.
I'm just trying to say, it's like, can you imagine everybody, like if I got a bill for $27, well, okay, $27, just pay it, but how many people are just gonna be like, great, you know, I'm just trying to put it into perspective.
I mean, I think ideally it'd be good to just kind of try to wait and see what we can do to clear some of the situations up. I don't think the court case is gonna be finished by then, I don't know. The only thing we might know is a little more from the league and maybe some of the people at the state capitol on some of the discussions, but, also it's gonna take us time to kind of build out how we wanna have that spreadsheet laid out, and we could do that in the meantime over the next year or two and get ready to potentially do it that way, if that would be we'd bring it to you guys obviously first before doing it, but.
I mean, regardless of how the case turns out, I mean, right now, we're looking at a $47,000 deficit
Right.
from what the projected, revenue, or tax revenue was gonna be, and somebody's gonna have to pay that bill.
Right,
I
well,
mean,
we're
it's
paying
not-
it through debt that we got through, basically, that we had. We could have used that for a future project that we were kind of saving. Part of that 278 that we got from the TIDS is meant for the downtown projects, and overages. So basically, we're using some of that.
So I mean, I don't understand the idea of waiting to see, I understand the idea of not joining in to the
Right.
to the current, you know, plaintiffs.
Right.
But, I don't understand the idea of us waiting. I mean, this is a bill that's been going out forever,
Right.
on people's tax bill. I mean, this is,
Okay.
you know, this is not something that's gonna surprise,
Right.
that shouldn't surprise anybody if you sent them a bill, if it didn't show up on their taxes. I don't know,
So are you saying that you would like it to continue this year and have us do that for, I mean, it doesn't have to go out next week, I mean.
yeah, I
it could
mean,
go out in
I
January.
absolutely would, I don't know,
How many hours?
I mean, this is,
That's what I worry about,
We
is the
don't-
hours, you know, the
The
amount of
hard thing is
time.
we don't really have an estimate. I mean, we can have it sent out through a third-party vendor,
Yeah.
which is actually pretty cheap for us to do. It's not as bad, it doesn't take as much time for us to fold, to mail, to whatever. They get a cheaper amount on the stamps. We have a house number list, we gotta just think through the best way to use the list we have to create the list, so we're not having to do a lot of extra work, but we gotta just kind of think through which list would be best to start as a base and add to it. I think we have one that we can go, we just gotta get mailing addresses out of all those parcels, which, to be honest, I think we can submit that to the county to get that listing, which would make it a lot easier. So I think there's some ways that we can make it so it's not as much time consuming at least.
But you guys have the capacity to do, like, the applying the payments, and then who doesn't pay, then the follow-up, because, I mean, an initial list is one thing.
Yeah, I mean, I would say we kind of already do that, right? We do it during the tax season anyway. It would be nice in the future if we could time it to do it at the same time, so that people are coming in, probably getting this bill and their taxes around the same time. probably not gonna happen this year. I'm guessing taxes are going out maybe in a week from now.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, maybe this is more of a question for Ashley. So like, let's say this sorts itself out in the meantime before next year. And yes, we can add it back on the bills. Can we double charge next year? Like to do a 2025 and 26 charge? Like to recoup those costs. I agree with you. I don't
Yeah.
think there should be a deficit, but I'm also trying to think of staffing, and you think of that amount of
Yeah.
money, is it worth, if you don't have the resource and now we're hiring extra work, now it's actually costing the village
Yeah,
more.
how does that work for somebody who moves in this
I
year? I mean, you
yeah.
gotta pay
Yeah.
twice, you gotta pay twice for last year and this year. I mean, okay, so the residents are still, this is a service that's being provided, and everybody's gonna pay for it anyway, right? It's just a matter of, are they going to pay for it, because it's not being billed on the taxes, are they gonna pay for it with a separate payment? Or are we going to borrow money, pay interest, and they're still, we're borrowing money in their name, and that interest is in their name. So instead of paying $27, now they're paying $30, they're just hiding it somewhere else, and on top of that, now we're taking money away from projects that are already in the planning stages to be done. So not only would we charge more of the residents over the extended period, now we're also going to reduce the number of things that we could do for them, in terms of the village as a whole, investing those funds into the projects that they're already earmarked for.
Right.
So, yeah, I would absolutely say that you should, if the county says, take it off, just send the bill out and work with it from there. It doesn't make any, I mean, I don't see a good argument to say, absorb this, because you're not technically absorbing it. The residents are still gonna pay it, they're just gonna pay it plus interest.
And we've done mailings for water and sewer, we've done mailings for a lot of things. I don't think it should be an issue to do a mailing.
No, the mailing portion won't be, it's just basically depending on if everyone pays it, the ones that don't, how many of them. I mean, we have other ways we can make sure, try to get people to pay, without having to necessarily do letters after the first one. I mean, yeah, so.
I say one and done.
Yeah, I mean, if it plays out in
If you don't
court
pay
and
it, it
they
goes
shoot
on
it
your
down,
next
that's
tax
easy.
bill, regardless.
And a good letter explaining the
Yes.
situation.
Yeah, I would say this is, just something to note that you won't see this bill on your taxes this year, and there's a whatever, and here's a separate bill, and I don't think most people are gonna, if you just look at it and say, well, it's just money out of my pocket, yeah, I get that, but it's literally, it's less money out of your pocket for the same service, otherwise you're gonna be paying more. I don't see a good argument to say don't, take money from somewhere else to pay for this, and then don't do something else.
Okay.
Do we need any?
Are we able to take that kind of action? I mean, it says possible action on the agenda, or what kind of action can we?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could make an action to have the village bill residents for the ambulance fees directly.
I'll make a motion to direct staff to bill separately for ambulance services. Bill the residents separately for ambulance services.
For the amount of, was it $27?
No, that was just me. That was,
I'm
this
sorry.
is
That was
just,
last year.
everyone's different.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Off the top of my head.
So basically, we need a second.
I'll second.
Roll call, Jim.
Aye.
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 Motion carried. 11, report of village officials. A, clerk treasurer, Jane.
My report was in the packet. We've been busy, I think Nathan's redone the budget like 3 different times. And then when they threw this at us, it was, freak out moment, but other than that.
I have a question. So when I go out onto the land records out here, and like you can pay online, 2025 isn't available yet for Hortonville? Do you know when?
No, because they're waiting for our resolution from tonight's meeting that you're approving our budget, and then I send that to her, then she
Gotcha,
can start
okay,
working on
I get it,
tax bills.
all right, 'cause I just paid
It's
something
all
for
a
the town
process.
center, and I'm like, well, that's out there,
Yep.
but Hortonville's not. Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll go to B, Director of Public Works, Aaron.
My report's in the packet, and, guys got the ice skating rink up, so we should be able to do ice skating at Alonzo Park soon.
Any questions for Aaron? Okay, we'll go to C, Police Chief, Brian.
Reports in the packet, and we just finished up interviews actually tonight for our full-time candidate. So thank you, Jim and Jeannie and Nathan. We spent a couple nights together this week, and we have one that we'll put through to background phase. Hopefully starting tomorrow or early next week. And just one other note, Officer Sweeney and Officer Hauser went to the Lights of Christmas annual ceremony this week, and we raised about $2,000 worth of funds this year through activities that we do, that then we just give that money back to our community. So really great program.
Any questions for Brian? Okay, we'll go to D, Library Director, Ally.
Some things that we've been doing is, we raised over 400 items for the food pantry over the last few weeks. So that was really nice to see. We have a self-defense class planned for sometime during the spring, so we're really looking forward to that. That's something that we haven't offered before. Speed puzzling is set again for the 3rd time. It is more of a hit than I would have expected it to be. Year-end statistics will be coming out probably February-ish. And we have a lot of school collaborations coming up as well with the district. So very busy, planning for summer already, even though we're in the negative wind chills. So lots going on.
That last speed puzzling, what was the timeline, like 40 minutes?
Our first speed puzzling tournament, a team did a 1,000-piece puzzle in 54 minutes. This last one, we chose a much harder puzzle, and it was done in 1 hour and 40 minutes. So we'll see what the next round brings. Yeah.
Any questions for Ally? Okay, we'll go to Attorney, Ashley.
I don't have anything.
Anyone have any questions for Ashley? Okay, F, Administrator, Nathan.
I don't have a report in the packet. Wasn't able to get that out this week. I guess I got one for next week to hand out right away. It's just some other interest in some other development areas potentially came up, that we'd probably talk about, some opportunities at the next meeting and, well, some of those, so, yeah.
I just want to comment, thank you and your staff for all the hard work on this budget. I think you all did a marvelous job.
Thank you, and I know it's appreciated. Our staff put in a lot of hours and a lot of annoying meetings with me, I'm sure, so.
Absolutely.
You heard,
Any questions for Nathan? Okay, G is the building permit report. It is in the packet. H, any other miscellaneous topics for future discussion? Nothing? Okay, we will go to 12, communications and miscellaneous business. Black Otter Lake District News. Bob, is there anything new?
Nothing really new, other than our next meeting is January 12th.
Okay. Then we'll go to B, Hortonville, Hortonia Fire District News. Jim?
There's none.
Okay. C, Gold Cross Ambulance Run Report and News. There is none in the packet. And D, Hortonville Civic Association. Jane?
Nothing new.
And E, Senior Activities. Jane?
Next meeting is next Thursday at noon.
Sounds good.
13, comments and suggestions from citizens present. Is there anything? No? Okay. 14, I would need a motion to go into closed session.
I'll I'll make a motion to go into closed session, state statute 19.851G, conferring with legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or is likely to become involved. Motion noting statutory exception and roll call vote, specifically the VC3 contract.
I'll second.
Roll call, Jim?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Motion carried. 15, we would need 5 minutes recess to clear the meeting room. Thank you all for coming. Number 18, any action on matters discussed in closed session? There's none. Number 19, I would need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 7:51.